Good morning. It is Chris Chun. It is here this week in real estate, and I hope you all know that today is the first day of spring. Actually, spring has sprung. It was officially spring at 7:46 this morning in the Napa area. Figure out what time it is if you're watching in a different time zone. But I wanted to talk to you about gardening. A lot of people think about spring cleaning as what they need to do inside your house, and there's probably a lot, but I like gardening, and so I wanted to talk about gardening, and especially because we've had this great hot spell that has really caused I don't know about you, but like lots of my grass and weeds and everything to really kind of like just start going. And so I wanted to talk to you what I do for my gardening. And I think that maybe if you want to use some of these tips and you're in the Napa area, it might help you with yours. The first thing I do every year, because when I rip out my plants and all of my stuff, sometimes I take off a sprinkler head from my drip system, or they get kind of tossed out and moved around and all of that stuff. I really want to make sure that my drip system is in good working order, that there are no leaks, that everything is positioned correctly so that I'm watering the right areas of my gardening bed, so that I'm not wasting water, because water is so precious for all of us. And you should not have to use that much water. If you're using a good drip system, it should be really concentrated in the areas that you just need to get it to, so that you're watering just the plants and you're not losing a lot to evaporation and otherwise. Second thing is getting your soils really prepped. It's the kind of the best thing that you can do to get your garden started is make sure you're planting stuff in good, healthy, and rich soils. So every year I mix in a lot of compost and organic fertilizer into my garden beds. I till that so I literally take my spade and I dig up and I put it all kind of around, and then I take a lot of that compost and fertilizer, I put it in the center, and then I really, with a big, nice pitchfork, kind of till that over at least 8 to 10 inches deep, that I'm loosening up the soil so that the new plants have a really easy time getting their roots down into the soil again, to get after that deeper water, so it allows for better stability of the plants as well as better watering opportunities for them. And then you don't have to fertilize as much throughout the summer, and you got nice healthy plants. And the last thing that I did this past weekend was actually plant. It was so nice and hot that I've already put in arugula and basil and sweet peas, as well as my first 2 tomato plants. And the reason why I start planting is I do a staggered planting. So I'll plant a few plants this time. I'll wait a couple of weeks. I'll plant another round of plants, and then I'll wait a couple more weeks and I'll plant my final round of plants. And that's so that I can have staggered harvests. I harvest a lot. Arugula, you got to kind of like stay on, otherwise it quickly will come maturity and overgrown. That's the same with cilantro and basil and everything else. You really kind of have to kind of stay on top of some of your herbs more so than the tomato plants. But even on the tomato plants, planting at a stagger really helps with the harvesting. And the pictures below are just some of the photos from last year. Last year, I harvested nearly 140 pounds out of my garden, and that's shishito peppers and Japanese eggplants and tomatoes and cucumbers and sweet peas and snap peas and all the rest. And so we live in a wonderful area. Obviously, the grapes love the area for growing, and so do most of the other vegetables and stuff that we eat on a regular day basis for our salads and such. So enjoy gardening, I hope. And if you want any other tips, I'm happy to help. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.